Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hello, I'm Wayne Berry of Top Gun Business Academy, and welcome to this episode of Top Gun Sales for Business Blueprint. In this particular episode of Top Gun Sales, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Up until now, I've been presenting all sorts of how-to ideas on how to improve your sales, how to increase your sales, and I said in the very first episode, the mindset that we have is so important. Our attitude is so important to determine the success that we have. So this episode is termed 7 Steps to Become a Top Gun in Sales. Now, this is a formula that, from my experience and from working with other business people, sales professionals, sales managers all around the world here now, is a formula, if you like, for creating success in sales. But even more than that, the same formula, these 7 steps I'm about to share with you, can be applied in really any area of your life at all to achieve any worthy goal that you set. So I hope you find it interesting. I'm sure you will, and I'd love to hear from you if you care to contact me and give me your feedback. So have you ever wondered why it is that some salespeople are so successful and why others are not? Now, let's apply this even broader. Have you ever wondered why some people in general in life are more successful and some are not? Well, we've done the research over many, many years now, and I believe we know exactly why some people are more successful than others, and that's the purpose of this episode. I'd like to share these thoughts with you. You see, if we look at this term success, everyone wants to achieve success, or so people tell me. And so when I work with a live seminar audience, I often pose the question, and let me pose this question to you now. If you were successful over the next 12 months and achieved everything that you wanted in your life, what sort of things would be manifested in your life in the year ahead? What sort of things would you be able to say, yeah, hey, that is a sign of my success. I have arrived. I have achieved the success that I truly wished for, planned for, and wanted over this 12-month period. And when I do this with audiences, these are the kind of things that come up. Money. Now, money isn't everything, but it is right up there with oxygen, isn't it, in terms of importance to sustain our life on this planet anyway. How about this one here? More sales. Salespeople often tell me, hey, more sales, that's the way to measure success, and I'm inclined to agree. In sales, that absolutely is. Happy customers. Well, happy customers, that's a great way. If customers are happy and doing business with you on a regular basis. More customers. Well, yeah, absolutely. Have more customers. Add to the number of people that you serve. Promotion. Well, that's important for some people, to be promoted within their organization. Health. Well, it is a kind of important way to measure our success. We can have so many other things in life, but if we don't have health, then, some of these other things aren't so important. Quality relationships. Very, very important. Not just business relationships, but our personal relationships. To measure our degree of success through our relationships and the quality of our relationships, I think is probably a really good way to go. Our net worth, doing the calculation every now and again to work out what our net worth is. How are we doing? How are we doing with income? How are we doing with investing? What's our net worth? Have we advanced very much during the 12 months that have just passed? And of course, there's the toys, the good things that we can sometimes get in life, like the cars, the homes, the holidays, those kind of things. So when I talk with seminar audiences about, what is it they would like to achieve, how they measure their success, they tell me these kind of things, and perhaps you might have some of these things on your list. These are things that you really would like to achieve over the next 12 months. So here's a really good question for you. What will you do starting today? I mean today, to achieve the success that you truly desire? That's a really important question. What will you do starting today to achieve the success you truly desire? What will the average person do, by the way? I bet you know the answer to that. How about absolutely nothing? See, the average person will do absolutely nothing to achieve the success they want, which is probably why they will always be average. Now, I don't want to be harsh in any way, but that's the reality. I mean, that's what I have seen through my lifetime, the average person does nothing to manifest these things in their life. In fact, worse than nothing, well, let me get to that in a moment. But the question for you right now is, what will you do? What will you actually do starting from this day forward? If I give you a 7-step process, will you actually take action on what I share with you now? Now, if not, you might as well go make yourself a cup of coffee and not even bother to watch this, because this is a proven formula. It actually works. So I'm going to ask you the question, what will you do? If this is a proven formula, will you take it and will you use it? I started to say before, even worse than doing nothing at all, the average person tends to go through a process whereby they come up with a list of people and circumstances to blame for why they're not achieving the success that they want to achieve in their life. I must admit, I had personal experience of this back in a really challenging period of my life. It seems like a long time ago now, but it was 1989, and in Australia, we had something called the airline dispute. The airline dispute, and if you were involved in my previous episodes weeks ago, you probably heard me talk about the airline dispute and how it impacted on my business. If you can imagine, in the country where you're watching this now, suddenly all of the airlines stopped flying for a year. That's what happened back there in 1989 in Australia. It was called the pilots dispute. All of the airlines stopped flying. Now, my business at that time was involving bringing in the American speakers, touring them around Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, and I was highly reliant on the airlines, and my business suddenly stopped, ground to a halt overnight. I had 63 staff. I had 5 branches. I felt devastated. And the truth is, I had to shut everything down. I lost everything I had built up. I'd been featured in the newspapers, in business magazines, on television, interviews. I was in my mid-30s, doing extremely well. Thought I was important. Ego was certainly there. And suddenly I lost it all, devastated. Can you imagine? A guru, somebody in the personal development industry had lost everything, and I was really unhappy. And I started blaming the airline pilots, the airlines. The Prime Minister of Australia tried to get involved in the negotiations, made it worse. I put him on the list too. He hadn't read my book on negotiating at that stage. I went to my accountant and I said, you should have warned me that something like this could happen. And they said, well, we did. We discussed insurance. You decided not to do it. I went to my lawyer. I said, can't we sue someone? He said, no. Put him on the top of the list, unsupportive lawyer. And then, of course, my wife came to me early in 1990 and said, I'm really not happy about the way things are going. And she suggested a trial separation. Well, it's been about 27 years now. I guess the trial has worked pretty well. And, of course, I put her on the top of the list. Unsupportive spouse. Now, the reason I share this personal insight to you is because I truly went through this process. I really understand what it is to have the wind knocked out of my sails and feel like a failure. Certainly I did at the time. And sadly, I had a list of reasons, people and circumstances that I was blaming for why I was in the mess that I was in. And the reason I tell you this story is this is human nature. A lot of people do this. They have a list of reasons for not doing well. I talk to salespeople, I say, hey, how's it going for you? Why aren't you doing better? They say, you don't understand. It's the competition. It's what's happening in the marketplace right now. It's the politics. It's what's happening in the world with the economy, the shift of the dollar. They have a list of my boss, my family, my parents. They should have educated me better. I should have had a better opportunity in life. They have a list of people and circumstances that they blame for why they are in an unhappy situation in their life. I did that too. And guess who wasn't on my list? Me. Guess who's not on their list? Them. Now, is this human nature? Absolutely. But this is what the average person does. They have a list of people and circumstances they blame for why life is not working out for them, and they're not on their own list. Now, I often talk to salespeople and I say, well, okay, I hear what you say, so why don't you do something about that? Why don't you do something about that in the year ahead? Why don't you make some changes? And they say, you don't understand. They then have another list, and this list justifies why things cannot improve for them. If you have a really good list of why things can't improve for you, will things change? Well, they may change, but will they get better? No. Will they get worse? Yes. They will change, and they possibly will slide backwards because we don't stand still. But sadly, a lot of people have a great list of reasons why they can't do better. And sadly, a lot of these people are in denial. They're in denial they have anything to do with the situation they have found themselves in. It's all somebody else's fault. Some people even go into denial so much that they deny that there's a problem at all. I've even had people say, I guess this is simply what God intended for me. I'm sorry, now it's God's fault. And I mean no disrespect. But some people truly say, I guess this is what God expects for me or intends for my life. I don't believe that at all. I think God gives us opportunities. What we do with it is entirely up to us. So these people are sadly in denial. And sadly, a lot of these people quit. They don't quit their job. They don't quit their business. They quit trying. They stay within their comfort zone. They just stay stuck. Now, I call this victim mentality. It is a very, very dangerous situation. It is a very, very dangerous attitude to have, victim mentality. But sadly, a lot of people live below the line. They live an average life. And my number one thought around this is, and I must admit, I around that time I met Robert Kiyosaki, and I got to work with Robert for around about a year. He was presenting a program, and the program was called Money and You, and maybe you've heard of the program. It's quite some time ago, and I went along to the program because somebody said I really should go to the program. And I was sitting there, I was listening to Robert, and he explained this, and I wrote it all down, and I was saying to myself, yeah, I can understand how some people can do that. I didn't even understand he was talking about me. And he wrote a word on the board, and he said, this word changes everything. I thought, oh, yeah. Here's the word he wrote on the board. Robert said, you know what? Where you're at today, you have created. It's your responsibility. You've created this. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, well, hang on, no, it's the airline pilots. I suddenly realized he's talking about me. I really had a list of reasons for not doing well. I wasn't on the list. I hadn't accepted responsibility. Could I have designed a business that wasn't reliant on the airlines? Could I have insured against a catastrophe like that? Absolutely. He said, only when you are prepared to take 100% responsibility for where you're at can you move to where you want to be. That was a very, very empowering concept. I didn't get it immediately, but I finally got it. You see, we are where we're at today. That might be a terrific place for you, or it could be a challenging place for you right now. And I mean in your personal life as well as your professional life, with your health, with whatever issues, with whatever challenges you're facing right now. You are where you are at because of all of the little decisions you've made along the way that have brought you to where you are today.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.